All Progressive Congress in Anambra State has withdrawn from the upcoming local government elections scheduled for 28 September 2024, citing concerns over irregularities. The party announced this on Saturday, adding that it had decided to take legal action challenging the election process in court. According to the party, the decision followed alleged violations of due process, which they believe undermines the credibility of the poll. The APC further explained that participating in the local government election would amount to legalizing illegality, insisting that the Constitution of Anambra State Independent Electoral Commission and the announcement of the election date did not follow due process as stipulated by the Electoral Act 2022. The motion to boycott the election was moved by APC stakeholders, including Donatus Emecheta and seconded by Ikunwata Obadike during the party stakeholders meeting held at the state headquarters in Awka on Saturday. Addressing party members during the meeting, the state chairman of the APC, Chief Basil Ejidike, noted that the APC, under his leadership, would not participate in the election because ANSIEC and the state governor, Professor Chukwu Soludo, were not prepared to conduct the exercise in a free, fair, and credible manner. He also claimed that Soludo had already set up a tribunal at the Anambra State High Court in Awka for political parties wishing to challenge the election's outcome, suggesting that the governor was not transparently preparing to establish an accountable local government system. Also speaking, the APC legal advisor, Chukwunonso Chinwoba, said the party had already filed a case in the High Court challenging the entire local government election process. Chinwoba argued that the electoral process had been compromised by irregularities, citing Section 23, subsection 1 of the ANSEC Law 2024, which provides for a 30-day notice period for the election as inconsistent with Section 103, subsection 3 of the Electoral Act 2022, which requires a 150-day notice period. Let me start with you, Ugochukwu. What do you make of this story?
The Anambra story is that echoes and reverberates across the length and breadth of the Nigerian political space when it comes to state elections, which they conduct across their respective local governments as empowered by the Constitution. And for APC to be accusing the ANSEC, trying to use the Electoral Act, but they also forget that the Constitution empowers the Anambra State House of Assembly to make laws that will be consistent with the Constitution, that is in tandem with the minds of the executive in conducting election and the affairs of local governments in their states. So they forget that they are using the national to cite example of what happens in within the state, which for me they are not being open and in line with what the Electoral Act and the Constitution have said. Having said that, APC in Anambra State should not be crying foul where there is none already, because even before the national elections, tribunals have been set up. Because believe it or yes, it's just that after any elections in Nigeria, there are litany of litigations. People have already condemned the process for the fact they are not the ones in charge. Anything that the government in power or the State Electoral Commission is doing is already under suspicion. So for the governor to set up the tribunal that we entertain such cases, we are not oblivious of it. It is not alien to Nigerian politics. So, and for APC, whom I see don't have any ground in Anambra State, because as far as I'm concerned, the highest office, APC office, political office holder in Anambra State is Chris Ngige. And Chris Ngige did not do much to, to solidify APC and marketing it to his people in Anambra State. He did not market it, and having left office, he did not do much because maybe the position he held as the Minister of Employment did not give him enough room to garner support and the deep pocket, as we see in Nigerian politics, to make inroads in Anambra State. And again, Anambra State APC having a high hope when they let Senator Ifeanyi Ubah cross-carpeted to APC from YPP. They lost him suddenly to the cold hands of death. And who would have been their chief financier and the person who would have turned around the fortunes of APC in Anambra State. So APC in Anambra State should be mourning instead of talking about elections, because they are not a party to be reckoned with in Anambra State. And for the tradition of what we know in Nigeria, that any state governor who is sitting with the mandate of any political party conducts local government election and sweeps it away. So this is not going to be, if it happens in Anambra State, it's not going to be a far cry. It's only going to solidify what we already know. So for me, APC in Anambra State have no need to start making inflammatory statements to attract unnecessary sympathy where there is none. Laurentia.
Where there is none?
No, there is none. There is none. There is none at all.
All right.
There is none at all. It's a tradition in Nigeria.
Very well, Nize, what do you have to say to this?
It is just a shout of accusation and counter-accusation. And I feel that for APC to raise their voice in a state like Anambra State is just they are leveraging on the popularity of the national APC. And when they are talking about legalizing illegality, it's like I see APC talking from two sides of their mouth.
Why do you say that?
APC is illegal. In fact, illegality personified.
You're talking of APC and Anambra State, not
no,
APC
APC, that name in Nigeria, in our mind, in our psyche, APC is bunch of illegality. Look at how they came to power. Look at how they substantiated themselves in power. Look at everything about them. So when they come to talk about illegality and legality, it pisses me off. So look, the truth remains. We are Nigerians. We are dealing with people. We know ourselves. We know what is good for us and what is not good for us. Those who found themselves in the corridors of power or in the field of in the political field should know that they are dealing with the mindset of the people, the entirety of Nigerian nation. And whatever we do should gear towards bettering the society we find ourselves. God has created us and has placed us in this part of the world. Are we encouraging ourselves to build a better society, or are we just messing things up? Now, for APC to come out to say that the governor is not prepared to be transparent and all that, and give a level playing ground for the other political parties and all that, yes, they can say that. But I think that what they should have done is to force the national APC to bring up people-friendly policies that we make the people develop interest in APC, because it is just obvious that those who can clap for APC are those who are drinking directly from the cup of APC. That is that. Anybody who is not drinking directly from the cup of APC, from the presidency, cannot say anything good about APC. Now, if you can just take, for instance, the last protest, and the bad governance protest. You see how it went out of hand in the North. And the APC is claiming that North gave them the highest vote. So the people who voted you to power are receiving the big chunk of your unreasonable policies and anti-people policies. And they have come to say, no, we don't want you again. If you don't want to go, let the military take over, or let foreign countries come and overrun our sovereignty and things like that. You can see the depth of their pain. And instead of this APC-led government to look at the plight of the people, they just shifted it with a wave of hand and continue impoverishing the people, pressing on the people, telling the people that we don't send you, we don't care you, we don't mind what you go through, what we want to do, we want to do. And look, where I'm looking at it is, we've come to Anambra State. In as much as I did not score Charles Soludo Professor Charles Soludo a pass mark in his administration in Anambra. In fact, he disappointed me as a person. The Soludo I know in CBN is not the Soludo I know in Anambra State as a governor.
That's an Nigerian politics.
Honestly.
He has stepped in the murky waters.
If he stepped in the murky and he couldn't make it clean, it means that he does not have the quality in the first instance. Because we are believing that Nigeria is a good place. We are better people, for God's sake. In fact, the way we are condoning with the present government and the hardship they have inflicted on us, the way we are condoning shows that we are good people. This can't happen in other places. Look at what's happening in Kenya. Look at what's happening in Madagascar. Look at what is happening in the Arab nations. They can't take it. But in Nigeria, we are suffering. Fela said it in some 40 years ago, that we are people that suffers while smiling, or people who smile while suffering. We suffer and smile. So in Anambra State, Chukwuma Soludo didn't do well. For me, look at the level of insecurity. And I believe that he's just coming to conduct this election because the Supreme Court has given a local government autonomy and all that, and have cancelled the caretaker committee. For more than 10 years, Anambra State runs under caretaker committee. Why? And somebody like Soludo, who is educated, who is learned, a man I know that is, in fact, he's a groomed fellow, could come and not stop that nonsense. Anambra used to, in fact, other people from the time of Chinwo Kemba Dinoju, Anambra State had enjoyed at least government of the people to an extent. But this was Soludo came and look at before he let insecurity sweep over his state. That you can't, in our own Anambra State, you can't walk freely. How bad? Why should they allow such? So for APC coming to accuse them and all this and all that, they are simply playing politics and they just want to make themselves relevant. But it's not necessary.
Laurentia, if I may add to what Mzee said, you see, should Nigerians tomorrow begin to clamor for a technocrat to be in government?
Okay.
From what he has said now about Soludo, I didn't want to go. You know my stance with Soludo on this show. My stance with Soludo and Ken Gugochin and Tony Okocha, you know my stance about them. With the high hopes and what, no wonder Soludo was shielded from taking over from P2B. We can read in between the lines of why Anobi did not allow a Soludo to take over from him. So, if we could have people as educated and highly influential and the people that hold the economy by their fingertips, and you cannot see a substantial turnaround of economy of the Anambra people. You could not see the height to which the Anambra enterprising nature has grown. How the world is now even talking. Look at when Oti entered Abia State. Within 6 months, there's a reflection and turnaround in the landscape and whatever you talk about Aba that people has forgotten over the years. So, if we have somebody like Soludo, just like when they are clamoring about youth leaders, and we had a certain Yaya Bello, can a Nigerian youth now come out and say, let us give to the youth?
Yaya Bello and Elisha
Abo.
You see the embarrassment.
You see, so do Nigerians now come out and talk about technocrats to be in our government? This is a sad story that they keep disappointing us. When the opinion mothers and the analysts and the human rights groups begin to advocate for them, and they find themselves there, they disappoint everybody. And that disappointment, the regular politicians or the people I call traditional politicians in Nigeria, they begin to laugh at us.
You know, Reverend, I would like to attribute this to the fact that the older corrupt politicians are grooming the young ones to fall in line with what they are doing. So when we are clamoring for the youth to be in government or in leadership and all that, we should look at the antecedents. So Nigerians,
and who is grooming them?
Yes, Nigerians should observe this. Now, it's just like the way you see the barrister Minister of FCT and former governor of Rivers State, the way he has lived his life, and you see somebody who has been groomed by wicked. What do you think he will be? He will do same like his master, as you can see in the Ishi in Ikwere local government. Yes. That's what's that his name? Anosike,
yes.
someone Anosike.
Has positioned himself to take.
Yes,
to take
and you
over,
see
yes.
him doing all this jiggy thing, and it is not helping matters. So, if Soludo had been groomed with a man who doesn't have the likes of Obi, the kind of lifestyle
yes,
of Obi, he can't step in there. Even though Obi also made a wrong choice by choosing Obiano. Obiano came in and messed up,
yes,
and got disgraced out of office. The government, in fact, it is a pity. Anambra does not deserve this. The Anambra I know, which is the hub of commerce in Nigeria, shouldn't suffer this nonsense.
All right.
So thank you.
APC government, right?
AP government, they are the ones just bringing us into all this brouhaha.
All right, let's.